A lot of the rear deck is missing off that car, which just came off. And all of a sudden, the 7, started by Tony Wells, has no rear downforce whatsoever. How on earth did that happen? These are stress tested well beyond the forces that they're going to feel in the race. I can only think that's as a result of some contact made.
You go through scene, you get to the... Well, it's very hard to tell from the replay as we see closest to camera the green and silver Ferrari coming in, but
that was Tereshenko, wasn't it, as well?
It was Tereshenko.
Yeah. But
Aaron Scott had to be heading well towards the podium, definitely, but quite possibly the top step.
That suspension's already gone, halfway round turn 14, and it is wiggling and waggling and steering Julian.
Blow-sponsored car, the Iron Lynx machine, and that got help. That got help from JMW, and the JMW number 66, I'm afraid.
2 names on the roof, in fact, so that was Martin Hipper, who at the time was battling with Rob Hodes.
Oh, he's avoiding.
Hodes loses it, and he has no option but to go the high side, hope that the gap was going to be there when he reached it, and I'm afraid into the tyres as a result of that. So that was Rob Hodes' incident, losing it at turn 9, needed to go left, but he was never going to get the grip, he was never going to get the turning. So have pitted, one of which, as mentioned, is John Fowl. So now Cugno can start to attack again. Oh, big off. And this is for the number 60 car. Same paint job as Schiavoni's here. Schiavoni again. So he was in the wall yesterday on the Kemmel Straight, and now he's in the wall on the run down to Lufania. But this wasn't because of weaving. This was because of contact with possibly a prototype, and that's done rims on the left side along with both.
Leading. So what happened to Schiavoni? Oh, man alive.
So that was that one of the LMP2s? It was the second place car of, well, not second place, he's slipped back now. Countries we've gained because it's World Endurance Championship here at Spa next weekend. Big hit there, James Dayson misjudging his braking point into La Source and catching the back of Esteban Garcia's real team race.
This time, high classes Dennis Anderson getting a side swipe, was it? Yes, it was. Tries to go up the inside of Nielsen Racing's column. Coming in, I think. Oh, that was a huge spin by Beretta. Has he? Well, I couldn't tell. I think he's lost a rear tyre, but that might have been through. That might have been through the spinning. Can't tell whether that was. He's coming down the hill to Pouon, JP.
Yeah.
And he's braked and lost it on the way into Pouon. He's gone miles off the track. It's his own fault. He's hit too much curb on the outside of Pouon and lost it. They build those cars tough. He shouldn't. Should he be bringing
flow into the bus stop chicane? I think. Oh, and there's a spin for Gomendy.
Gomendy's lost it.
How on earth did that happen? Tyre, maybe. Got to be a tyre going down, because why on earth would he lose it? And yet, tyre going down.
That was his outlap. He spun it on cool tyres, I think.
Right.
On his outlap from the pits.
It's weird, because why did he not then pick up more speed?
Right rear.
Ils sont un peu plus durs, un peu plus de carrossage, etc. Et qui sont des réglages qui, s'ils sont conservés en course, peuvent dégrader assez rapidement.
Sortie oui, dès le début. C'est Michael Fassbender, l'acteur irlando-allemand, qui s'est fait surprendre sur le vibreur légèrement humide. Là, c'était le virage qui conditionnait. On va. Oh là là là, c'est une grosse sortie là pour la voiture de l'équipe Proton en compétition. On revoit ici. Regardez, en fait, il accélère sur le vibreur. Et là, ça ne pardonne pas le choc qui est violent. Il y en a qui passent vite.
Oui, ça tape le mur en béton. Ouais.
Ouais, à la sortie de Signe, ça c'est juste avant le double droite du Bosset. Ouais. Donc à la sortie de cette fameuse courbe de Signe. David, quand on a un pilote en confiance, quand on a une équipe et le tête à queue de Matevos Isakian,
donc ça va être intéressant dans ces conditions-là de voir qui tire son épingle du jeu.
Et il y en a qui directement avec la Duquesne numéro 30 là qui est parti en tête à queue et qui est parti sur cette numéro 30, c'est Jonathan Hirschi, le Suisse, qui s'est fait piéger dans ce fameux double droite du Bosset virage qui est...
Conditions are, the track surface rather, is whether Broniszewski really starts to improve his lap times on the intermediate. A spin for the BHK Motorsport car from LMP2, that's being driven by Francesco.
Mates, it's whack the forehead. You know, it's easy, very easy indeed to spin here. Got very, very close to the tail of Barato and, well, looked at a gap that I think with the following wind might have been a gap. That's why they waited so long. Will it dry enough for us to not go with intermediates and go with slick? Exactly what it was, unfortunately. One spin, that was close. Two, and there's bodywork damage to the number 20. It's a car that's had a Very, very up and down race, and coming in with...
Because he owed us a pit stop, but there's a major issue with the rear left tyre, and that's the reason why, because of a clash with the 16. That's in the final sector, isn't it? Yes, into turn 9. There was some contact.
He was helped. The number 2 United Autosports entry, Rob Weldon, got a bit of a twitch on the inside at Rojas is ahead. Car. Then Hershey. Now, it's all changing. Oh, dear.
And the 28 car off the road and almost, I think, made contact with the barrier. So that is the EDEC Sport car of Paul-Luc Chatin. Did he keep it out of the tyre wall? The rear deck seems to still be in one piece. So what happened there then? Paul-Luc Chatin diving up the inside to try and retain that position and then just lost grip. Did he catch the white line, the blend line maybe? That dictates whether you're going to go into the pits or not. There was no contact.
No contact. Very nearly took Memo Rojas with him, who was hard on the anchors, but don't want to be too hard on a wet...
A championship, and that really jettisoned Mikkel Jensen into his LMP2 drive for this year. There was side-to-side contact that forced that to happen.
But in that incident, pulls the door down, and we'll be tightening the belts. Spins, they're still coming in this race. Car 51 going for a bit of a turn there. That's Christoph Ulrich. And again, they're harder to pick up once they're facing backwards.
That was Tom Gamble possibly now heading down pit road to rejoin. 2 cars facing backwards at the penultimate corner.
In one lap. And a chance for another glance at a replay. And I have to hold my heart in my mouth. It's right in front of the number 77 Porsche that has been one of the magnets in this race. But it was a prototype car as well. But many of these moves, an assist, in fact. Nick Adcock being spun around there, so not his fault at all. A gaggle of P2 cars coming through behind, and one of them caught his... Let's have a look. Is there a replay that will help us know? There was a bit of pushing and shoving in front of Duval. We saw the number 16 car go round.
Duval was he was on the outside. That was the problem. So there was this sandwich, pincer movement, if you like. Now, what car was that we were watching the view from? Head to the medical centre after that with little injury. It was a frightening moment at Porsche Curves, I remember. And this one slightly a slower speed roll, although high speed he was doing at the time. And again, a last 20-minute thing. Maybe you can't make the final stop until the final 20 minutes of the race. A spin for 37, from Cool Racing.
Yeah, just outside.
Looking to, unless we have a drama, as indeed we have had now for car 20, which actually was a bigger incident than I had first read. Bouncing off the tyre barrier for Anders Fjordback in the high-class racing car. And Roman Rusanov is way back because he's just been overtaken by Jonathan Hershey. There's a lock-up though for the race leader. Can that car be stopped by Phil Hansen? I think he's going to have to straight line, and there's contact further behind, and that is Rusanov in number 26, who just didn't get going. He bogged down an awful lot. The BHK Motorsport car also takes to the cut-through road, and the same with it, but because again there was no tyre temperature at all, and just ahead of Phil then, still on board with his car, there was a spin for James Dayson, which was the 15 machine, and that ended up down at Curva Grande. The reaction from Mikkel Jensen, who is Roman Rusanov's teammate, says it all. Nick de Vries was standing there watching as well. Dayson has been caught up in a huge smozzle of LMP3 cars. One of the Nielsen cars, I think, was absolutely nose to tail. Meanwhile, was there some contact for the 60 Ferrari a minute or two ago? Just a bit and then some, and that is Schiavone spinning it at Ascari. It's not Schiavone.
It's James Maguire. It's turned Jim Maguire around as well.
But it's Sergio Pianazzola actually in the number 60 car, so they have done a driver change there, and you're quite right.
A leading edge hasn't worked, just seeing it again. It just seemed to have suddenly just popped up on its own. The whole thing's come apart.
Grist was compromised there because Tereshenko moved, I think, because he saw bodywork coming straight in, which on cold tyres lost the back end, and there was some contact between that car and Phil Hansen. That was a spin for Andrew Bentley after battling hard with Lorenzo Veglia.
Come up the back. Top of the hill being treated to replay. He's in the middle of the pack. That's Fassbender, is it, who's spun in front, and he goes around the outside.
And he is a gold-rated driver, and if you're running as a 3 combination in LMP2 with a platinum, a gold and a silver, which is the case for Nick de Vries, Rusanov and Mikkel Jensen respectively, then yes, actually Rusanov has done all the drive time necessary, 40 minutes of it. A moment for the 88 car that was riding high in GTE has ended up in the gravel trap at turn 15. Looks like it went off all on its own, Bruce Jones.
All on its own, nearly went down to the beach, nearly down for lunch in Portimao, and just just fails to get back out of the gravel trap. Massive moment from Francois Perraudot. In fact, when the cameras can't catch him because some of the grandstands in the way, it shows that they don't expect to see cars going that wide. But big scare. There might have been contact. Looks like the driver. How about that for a late race drama? Oh, my word.
And quite
big
high
spin.
speed. Yeah. Yes, indeed. He was already virtually backwards, arriving at turn 1, which is incredibly high speed corner.